if they want me gone, if they tired of winning, they can send me on their way because that's all we've done is win. So if they tired of winning, we've won this league 8 out of the last 10 years. Is that not good? I'm just asking. Is that good?
It is good, but right now, not a whole lot of wins. Life coming at Dabo Swinney and the Clemson Tigers fast. From ranked 4th in the preseason poll to unranked for the first time since 2014 after a 1-2 start. And it's not getting any better. Early second, going up against Cuse. Clemson already down 17-7. Stephen Jelly dumps it off to Will Nixon. Nowhere close to a first down, but there's a flag on the play. Targeting would be called and will help for the hit. Now, replay review would say no targeting, but still a personal foul penalty. Dabo is furious. Later in the drive, and Jelly going for the end zone. Oh, great pass and catch by Darrell Gill Jr. Syracuse would lead 24-14 at halftime, and yeah, that sums up Clemson fans' thoughts. Now, there was another weather delay, an hour and a half because of lightning, mid-third, and Jelly rolled out right, going for the run, and non-contact injury. Hate to see that for the Notre Dame transfer. He would need help to come off the field. He would not return. Left the game on crutches. Now Syracuse with punt. Can Clemson take advantage? Adam Randall takes the handoff, but he's punched. The ball's punched out by Antoine Delorier, the freshman linebacker. Syracuse recovers. Big mistake from Randall. So Syracuse looking to put this game away with backup QB Ricky Collins. The first play up the fumble to Justice Ross Simmons. He's there for his second TD of the game. Syracuse goes on to win 34-21 for Clemson, their largest home loss versus an APM-ranked team under Dabo Swinney. We're back here with Beanie Wells and Richard Johnson to discuss perhaps the fall of the Clemson empire. I mean, Dabo's talking all this smack, right, about his program, and it's justifiable because they are one of the best programs. But right now, they don't look like they have an identity, Richard. What do you see that they're lacking here?
Chris, what I see right now is I see Clemson just being like every other program in the ACC. They're just like everybody else, and that's the problem. This was the year that Clemson was supposed to turn the corner. This was the year that Dabo listened to all of us up here, talking heads, and put some of our advice to good use. Took a couple players from the transfer portal, including defensive end Will Helt, got coordinators from outside of the family. Tom Allen comes in to be the defensive coordinator at Clemson, and yet nothing has really changed. And now you're 0-2 in the ACC after losing to Georgia Tech and Syracuse. Georgia Tech and Syracuse under Brant Key and Fran Brown respectively have built something really respectable in both of those programs. But if you are Clemson, the Clemson that we have come to know under Dabo Swinney, you handle those programs. Teams in the ACC are not your concern because, as Dabo so eloquently stated, 8 out of the last 10 years, they have won the ACC. Well, now they're 0-2 in the ACC, and they ain't winning the ACC playing like this right now. To me, Beanie, and we were talking about this up in the green room, watching the end of this game, this was supposed to be on paper one of the best defenses in college football with the best defensive line in college football. We mentioned Will Help the transfer in from Purdue. They have not shown up. They just have not shown up on defense in the last 2 games.
You know, for me, this has been a complete mismanagement of the roster. It's not like they got a bunch of Jags, just guys on that roster. They have dudes, guys that can go out and play, but it's mismanaging how you operate these guys. And more importantly, it's mismanaging Cade Klubnik. You know, when you sit there and you see that 60 in the percent, 60 passes attempted in a game for Cade Klubnik, he's not that type of guy. He's not that type of quarterback. He hasn't shown to be that type of quarterback. Is he serviceable? Yes. Is he a competent quarterback in college football? I believe so. But is he a guy that you can hang your hat on and say he's going to win his football games? No, he hasn't shown that. So why not rely on the run game? You got Adam Randall averaging 8 yards a carry. This is the second week in a row we've seen Adam Randall get going, particularly in the second half, and Dabo Swinney not lean in on that run game. He wants to chuck the ball in the air consistently. That's not going to get it done. And I think right now we're watching a football team in Clemson not look like who we thought they were going to be after hitting the portal. And then after Dabo listening to everybody rag on him last year, we thought he'd come in motivated. And right now, he just isn't getting it done, man. And for whatever reason, Clemson is going to be a team that is going to be looked at as the Clemson of the early 2000s, where Clemson, nobody was talking about Clemson in the early 2000s.
They weren't.
And you do not want to go back to being one of those teams that end up disappearing if you're Dabo. So you better get it done and get it figured out quick. I don't believe he should be fired. I do believe he's won enough championships to where he deserves to go out on his own right. but something has to give in terms of what he does with this football team.
Yeah, Cade Klubnik doesn't look any better to me. He does not look like he is progressing as a passer or progressing as a quarterback. There were some people who were saying, oh, he could be a first-round draft pick coming into this season, but he hasn't gotten any better. Adam Randall is giving them a lot of production on the ground. He's a converted wide receiver. He's not a running back. Clemson's offensive line, to be honest with you, has never really been like a road grading unit that puts a bunch of pros in the league. They just haven't really been that, even when they were really good. But at the end of the day, they were able to catch lightning in a bottle with Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence back to back. And it sounds crazy to say that, right? What they had there in that stretch where they were going to national championship games, it felt like every year, that's just so far in the rearview mirror.
It's not normal.
It's been 5 years at this point in time. Like, I don't want to say that was a blip on the radar because that's not the right word, but that is the peak of it. And we are so far from the peak right now. Peak Clemson. This is the program that they are. What you've shown the last couple of years, that's what you are. And yes, they were able to make the college football playoff last year, but get beat by Texas.
Right, yeah.
You know, they got beat by Texas in the first round. So, like, this is the program you are. You are not in that elite tier of the upper crust. You're in the pretty good, but you're not in the elite. You're not in the great right now.
Yeah, Clemson 1-3 for the first time since 2004. So Dabo Swinney and his staff and the players, they have a lot of soul searching to do to get back to that standard that they once were. Beanie Wells, Richard Johnson, I always appreciate the time. And so now you think about Clemson's college football playoff chances. After this loss to Syracuse, 0.01%. Not looking good for Dabo Swinney and his Tigers. Looking good for Syracuse, though.